thought today I would talk about, I think something that's often not really talked about outside of spirituality or spiritual communities is that the character that we are in our day-to-day life, the personality that we express to the people around us, or just who we are in every moment, our personality, the character we are, our ego, that as we start to align with life, as we start to say, I don't need to control and change and fix feelings that I'm feeling, and I don't need to control and fix outcomes in my life, that I take action steps when I can, but how life unfolds is how it's going to unfold, and there's nothing for me really to try and control and manipulate. When we get to the place of starting to let go of our control patterns, we start to align with life, or we start to align with the light that we are on a deeper level, and the universe will start taking our ego structure, or also our ego structure, personality, characters, identities. They're one and the same. So it'll start to take our ego structure, and it will start to integrate it more back into the light of our soul, more back into the love that you are. And when someone says that, what does it really mean? What does it mean to have your ego more integrated? What is that? And I would say it's taking a personality structure that's based on past pain, trauma, feeling unworthiness, feeling limited in who you can be or the person that you can become, feeling undervalued, all the times that we were made to feel less than, separate from others, worthless, and clearing some of that away. And as you clear away some of that, it creates more and more space for your soul to express its unique personality through your body. And our personality or our ego becomes less an extension of our past and more an extension of our unique divine power as a soul, as a spirit in this body. And so when that starts to happen, our ego, our personality structure, our characteristics, the denser, more heavy parts of that aspect of ourselves will start to be cleared out, and it can feel like death. It can feel like you're dying emotionally. And you might, on days when your ego is being integrated more into your soul, you might hear things like, I want to die, I don't want to go on anymore, I just want to give up, I don't want to be alive. And what you're hearing is your ego's opinion of the transition and change it's going through. Because when your ego structure or your personality goes through a transition to embodying more of the light of its soul, it's like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. And the caterpillar never knows what's on the other side. It just knows that it feels like it's never going to be the same again. And that's true. It will never be a caterpillar again. It will just be a butterfly. And it's the same with your ego structure. Your ego structure interprets the change and transition of clearing out identities or reference points it's had that maybe were limiting and maybe based in like on less worth and less value than like your true power of the light and the true power of the worth and value that you actually are. And so as your reference points start to change, as your ego goes through a change of clearing out the old heavy pain, emotional pain, trauma that no longer serves it, it will feel like it's dying because things are changing. And so when you're going through moments of feeling really heavy feelings, you're just feeling what's being cleared out of you. And all your job is in that moment is to just feel it. You didn't do anything wrong to have a day where you're feeling heavy or feeling like you want to die. You're just feeling the uncomfortability of change, the uncomfortability of clearing things out. And really what clearing is being able to face and feel your pain. There's a lot of talk in spirituality on alchemizing or like transforming, but in order to transform, you have to be willing to face your pain, because your soul needs space to express itself, but it can't have the space to express itself if you still see yourself as a worthless, unvaluable character. And so all of that needs to be fully faced, fully felt, and that's the light of your consciousness moving into those experiences to heal them by your willingness to feel them. And something as just like a side note I'd like to talk about is that oftentimes sometimes when you're spending time with other people, you might start to, like, I know this has happened to me, where I'll be listening to someone talking like a friend, and I'll start to feel really uncomfortable. And you can, maybe it feels like a pain in your chest. I've certainly felt it like that before. Or maybe it just feels like, I need to go. And sometimes you do actually need to go. And sometimes what you're feeling is you are feeling an aspect of their pain that your energy field is healing out of them just by you sitting there with them, just by you listening to them. And it can feel really uncomfortable. And so a question or a thing I do whenever I start to feel uncomfortable with another person, as long as they're being like safe, respectful, kind, they're just whatever, treating me how I'd want to be treated, and I'm starting to feel uncomfortable and feeling like I want to leave. It's like, well, if I sit with this feeling of uncomfortability, what happens? And what I've realized is oftentimes when I sit with it, is all of a sudden I'll start to feel the feeling dissolve, and then I'll feel a lot more openness in their presence. And what that experience is you just felt an aspect of pain, an aspect of something from their past that was ready to be cleared, and you had the higher frequency or higher vibration to vibrate that out of their awareness. Or maybe they were moving through something and you were just a little extra assistance in helping them process it a little quicker by also feeling it on their behalf as a way of clearing it. And oftentimes when we're feeling stuff on other people's behalfs, it's not just being cleared out of their field, but anything that we have that's similar to that pain will get tagged onto it. And so it'll clear a little of both of our pain at the same time. And so you're never doing something, you're never sitting with uncomfortability as like, it's never not benefiting you. And even if you said, well, I don't really care about other people's pain and I don't want to sit with this uncomfortability, even the fact of sitting with something that's uncomfortable is getting you more aligned with life, getting more aligned with you in change and transition, more in line with transformation, and will make your journey as a person a little bit easier, because change is uncomfortable, right? Until humanity gets into a place where we've released all our control patterns, and we're all working through this to some degree, all the things of how we feel life is out to get us, until we fully align with just flowing with life, change and transition and transformation will be uncomfortable. And certain change some people are better at than others, and there's nothing wrong with having a hard time changing or having a hard time through experiences. But as you feel uncomfortability, you're getting better. Even if it's for another person, you're getting better at feeling it for yourself when those experiences come up too. And so it's always a gift. And so something I just wanted to finish on death, and when we're feeling like death, is when we're feeling days when we're feeling really heavy and we are feeling like we can't go on, like just feels like we feel exhausted, we just feel like internally like I just want to curl up in a ball, I don't want to do anything today. The question is, if we feel like that, what are the things we can do to give our time give ourselves an easier time through that experience. And I would say one thing that I have found that's been really helpful is like, can I find little bits of joy that would remind me of like the sweetness of life, or remind me of why life is so amazing to live. And like one of the things I've done is like in the like uh like when I've had days where I felt like death, or when I felt really heavy, is there's like a bun shop, like a pastry shop close to where I live, and they make like these like Hong Kong or Vietnamese inspired pastries, and it reminds me of my mom when I was like 3 years oldish. She would bring pastries often from this like bakery in Ann Arbor, and the pastries that are currently now by me remind me exactly of the pastries back when I was like a 3-year-old. And so whenever I get pastries like that, it reminds me of like my childhood, and it's like nostalgic, and it reminds me a little bit of why life is so amazing to live, and why like the sweetness of life, or like I've even heard other people call it like the nectar of life. Like there's so much to enjoy in this life. There's so much to have fun. And when we're having hard days, when we're feeling like death, can we find little things that just remind us of the joy of life? Maybe for you, it's just taking more time to do something that you really enjoy, like playing your guitar, or drawing, or painting, or listening to your favorite songs. Just finding little things that create little state changes within us that remind us of, even if I feel miserable, even if I feel like I'm going through incredible levels of hardship, whether it's external or internal, or I feel like life just isn't worth living anymore, and can I just take time to remind myself of the little things that that bring me joy, the little things that remind me of there's so much joy and fun and play to have in this life, and I just need to make a little bit more time through it. And the hardship, the death, the heaviness you're feeling is never blocking peace, joy, happiness. You can have both experiences at the same time. A feeling never blocks another feeling. You're able to have like, you could literally feel 5 different feelings all at once. That's why when people get so happy, sometimes they cry, or when some people get so sad, sometimes they laugh. And it's because our feelings are like multidimensional. They aren't just one-dimensional. And so one of the things that's helped me is like when I'm feeling like I'm having a really hard day, or having a day where I feel more miserable, or like I feel like death, is can I find something that will bring me a little joy and remind me of the happiness, the love of life. And another thing I would say is, can we find, when we're having days that are hard, that are like feel that are really heavy, we're clearing out past pain, whatever, can we take greater time to care for ourselves? And if our body feels like it needs to move slower that day, that we need to do things that are like restful or restorative. Because oftentimes when you're clearing out heavy feelings, you're going to feel more tired, you're going to feel exhausted, because a lot of your energy is going into healing the wounds, moving the old debris that is no longer serving you. But that can take up a lot of your life force energy, or your battery for that day, when you're going through big moments of alchemizing or transmuting of past pain, to make more space for a higher expression of the personality of your soul. And so when we are going through days like that, can we take more time for rest, for care? Maybe we need to go sit by the lake. Maybe we take a bath. Maybe maybe we take time to just listen to some sound healing stuff online, like singing bowls. Just finding things that feel restful and restorative and help you get through the day a little bit easier. Because I know for me, oftentimes the experience I'm going through are the hardest, or I find myself like scrolling on my phone the most, or trying to check out, when I feel the most exhausted. And so if you recognize that when you wake up, you're already feeling like you're having a day where you're a little bit more tired, can you take time during that day to do things that are greater self-care, greater levels of support that are gentle on your body? And sometimes we need to rest and lie down in our day, and other times, sometimes rest can be like rather active, like exercising. Sometimes when I felt really tired and I go work out, I feel like I have more energy, and you can recharge your battery also through movement, like yoga or working out, just as much as you can sitting down. And it's often just changing the movement for that day. So if we spend a lot of time sitting, then we probably need a greater form of active rest. And if we spent a lot of time moving around that day, then sitting or lying down might be a better form of rest for us. So being aware of what kind of rest we need, but giving ourselves the greater support we need no matter what experience we're going through. Because oftentimes you don't need your experience to change or the feelings to change, but just the level of support you have as you go through those experiences. And whether you have people around you that you can lean on and share about your experience, or whether you're the only one there and it's just about, can I give myself the space and time I need to fully recharge my battery, to do things that are going to relax my body and give my body an easier time through this experience, to give my body the time and space it needs to fully make it through this experience in the most loving, gentle way possible. And can I be there fully for myself and fully support myself, no matter if I feel great or if I feel awful? Because if you're able to fully support yourself, you're going to find that you need other people far less. And that's one of the fastest ways to heal codependency and heal people pleasing is I have my own back, and I'm willing to be discerning about who I spend time with, who I don't spend time with, and I'm willing to give my body the greatest gentleness, love, kindness, and care I would expect a partner or even a close friend to give me. And if we can do that for ourselves, we'll find we make it through the heaviness, the days that feel a little bit more dark or feel like we're going through a big emotional death a lot easier. So I hope that helps. Thank you for listening.